Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day seems a little longer. Every way love's a little stronger. Come what may, do you ever long for true love from me? There you go, baby, here am I. Will you left me here so I could sit and cry? Well, golly gee, what have you done to me? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Love you like I do.
Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Cars and Us. My name is Dennis Tate. I'll be your host for this show and possibly a couple of other shows that we're going to do here at the Hartford Expo Center up in Hartford, Connecticut for the Frank Maratta Auto Show, the 49th annual auto show that they put on up here in, the Hartford Expo Center. Really fantastic place. It's nice and neat and clean up here. Room for about 300 or more cars. We look forward to doing this show every year, and every year there's a different car. Frank sends out invitations to different cars every year, so you're not going to see the same car twice in a row, which makes it rather unique. They're all roped off. They have nice displays, and so it's a real neat show. I know you're going to look forward to it, as I do every year, coming up here and covering it. So stay with us for the next 30 minutes, and we'll be talking to some people and showing you some great cars. With me is a future AA fuel dragster driver, Marissa MATURO from Wallingford, Connecticut. She's 14 years old, and she's now driving a junior dragster. So we want to welcome you to Cars and Us.
Thank you.
All right, and boy, what a treat it is to see you and meet you, and we have to find out all about you, how you got interested in cars, and what made you want to go so fast, and who built the car, and just everything. So we know you're from Wallingford.
Yes.
All right. Now, I guess first question is, how long have you been drag racing?
This year will be my 5th year of
Fifth
racing.
year?
Yes. I started when I was 10, and I'm going to be 15, so 5th year.
Who got you into drag racing?
My dad, he still drag races, but he's the one that got me into it.
What does he drag race, and where did he race?
He used to race at Connecticut Dragway.
Ah, okay.
He has a few cars of his own, like a Camaro and a Chevy 2 and stuff. So that's what got me into it.
So you're his protege.
I am.
And now you have this junior dragster. Did you help build it?
No, it was actually built in Tennessee by a guy named Mike Boss.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the leading builders of junior dragsters.
Now, what motor's in these?
Well, in the motor, there is a Rhino. Well, it's not really a motorcycle engine. It's just an aftermarket, like Briggs & Stratton.
Right.
And it has like 30 horsepower in it. But it's kind of just made especially for these.
Now, where do you race, and what kind of ETs and miles per hour? Well, first of all, I think you only race eighth of a mile. Is that true?
Yes, I do. I race at Lebanon Valley Dragway in upstate New York.
Upstate where?
It's in
Canandaigua?
New Lebanon, Albany.
Oh, that's Lebanon Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you said New York. Further up? Any of the tracks
upstate.
further up?
Oh, no.
How about? Oh, you don't. Okay.
No, just Lebanon. And the fastest ET I've gone is like a 760 and the quarter mile.
And what kind of miles per hour?
Like 85, 90.
Now, have you been successful? Have you been winning?
I have been, as you can see from the trophies and stuff around behind me. I win a lot, frequently.
That's terrific. So you're building up a name for yourself.
I am.
Now, how long is it before that you can go into a regular full-size dragster?
Well, once I have my license, which when I'm like 16 or 17, I can go into a full-size car.
Do you have to have a license for this?
No. Well, you have a special NHRA license that they issue you, but you don't have to.
Okay, so you didn't have to make any test runs or anything like that for NHRA?
Nope. No. Just
Now,
start and they give you your license.
and what kind of work do you have to do when you take it to the track?
Well, when you get there, you have to unload it from the trailer, and you have to do the tires, gas it up, check the engine, put the belt on, and just general maintenance of the car.
How about tune-up?
We change the oil every week. We race every weekend in the summer, so we have to change the oil every week. And we really don't change anything from week to week.
You don't have to, because it runs pretty consistent.
Yes. That's the whole thing of drag racing.
Just to be consistent.
Yes.
And that applies to your driving as well.
Yeah. I'm
Now-
getting better at being consistent, but
How are you on the lights?
pretty good. Usually in the .20s, like .020.
That's terrific.
One time I got a .002.
Did you? That's almost a perfect light.
It is. And then one time I got a .001.
Wow.
It's pure luck.
Now, do you have practice lights at home?
I do. I don't do them often, but I have one.
So what do you do now during the season when it's, it's the downtime, so to speak?
Well, my car just got painted, as you can see. It's all flames. It used to be straight black, but usually it just sits in my dad's shop, and whenever I go down there, I just polish all the chrome and look at it.
Now, I have to ask you what grade you're in school.
I'm in 9th.
Now, how are your marks?
I get straight A's.
Good for you.
Yep.
Excellent. Does your father have some kind of criteria where if you go below a certain average, you don't race?
Well, that's never really happened, but I guess if I
okay.
got like any C's or something, he'd probably take the car away from me.
Now, obviously you want to continue on and you really want to be a drag racer.
Well, maybe not in a dragster, but I'm going to move on to his full-size Chevy 2, which is going to be mine soon.
And what class is that and what does he run with that?
He runs about 11s. We'd have to slow it down to like 1290. And there's a class called High School Eliminator for people who are in high school that can race.
Is there?
Yeah. So it's going to work out well.
And that's all done up at Lebanon Valley?
Yes.
So you run what, every Sunday?
Every Sunday, yes.
And you'll start when, in April or May?
Probably around April, the end of April, till October. We race in the hot and the cold.
That's terrific. I'm familiar with Wallingford. As a matter of fact, we're going up there on the 23rd. I have a bunch of friends up there that belong to a big car club up there called the Connecticut Street Rods.
Yes. One year they sponsored me.
Did they?
Yes.
That's terrific.
Yep.
Is that Ronnie? Do you know Ronnie San Giovanni?
I think
Pete Bozzo?
I think my dad does.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's nice to see a young person, especially a young lady like yourself, that's interested in this hobby and that really intends to pursue it. And also that you do good in school.
Yes. Yep.
Well, good luck in the future.
Thank you.
All right, maybe we'll take a ride up to Lebanon Valley and we'll get a chance to see you actually racing.
You should.
We'd love to do that. Marissa, the best of luck, all right? And just be careful.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
One of the fellows we ran into up here earlier on has got a new magazine out, and it's called Hot Rods of Connecticut. He's got a lovely girl with him to help promote the magazine, and her name is May. So we're going to welcome you to Cars and Us.
Hi, nice
Right?
to meet you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And I see you roaming around, so obviously you're enjoying the car show.
Very much. I
You're
love
getting your
cars.
picture taken with all the cars.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's fun.
Now let's talk about Hot Rod of Connecticut.
Hot cars.
Hot Cars of Connecticut.
Yeah.
When did it start? How did it start? Where you guys located out of? And is it a monthly?
Well, the owner and editor is Bruce White. He lives in West Hartford, and it started 4 years ago. And he services all of Connecticut and
Okay.
Western Massachusetts. And I guess it started off a long time ago, and it's starting to grow big now.
All right, now, what's the format of the magazine? In other words, is it a mixture of classic cars, street rods, and muscle cars, and a little bit of everything?
It's everything, but it's all cars. Everything from like midget car racing to classic cars to, like you said, street cars.
All right, so there is a bit of racing, and there's drag
Yes.
racing, and there's
Yes.
NASCAR, and there's a little bit
Yeah.
of every type of automobile
Yeah,
racing.
love to cover like the car shows, cruise nights, things like that.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
All the little car shows, you know, things.
So now there's a list in the magazine of car cruises and car shows.
Yes.
Now they're going to cover Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Yeah, Western Massachusetts, and they have a website you could go to, and it lists all the car shows.
And what's the website?
It's www.hotcarsofconnecticut.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the magazine, is it on the stand? It can be purchased?
The magazine can only be found at all of the Napa auto parts stores.
Oh, that's nice.
Anywhere in Connecticut.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the cost?
There is no cost.
Oh, it's all
free. Yeah.
So in other words, he's subsidized by his advertisers.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All of his advertisers, all the sponsors.
We don't have a copy here. I wish we had a copy that we could show, but we'll have to pick one up later.
Okay.
What are you? What's your business? What's your line of work outside of being a model?
Well, I do sales during the day at a lumber company. Do you want to know the name of it?
Sure. Would you like to plug them?
It's Camco Supply of Wallingford, and I do counter sales there. And for 13 years, I've managed a restaurant in Wallingford called Stella Pizza.
Italian restaurant?
Italian restaurant all the way, baby. Yep.
All right. You must be from Northern Italy because you're very white.
I am. My grandparents were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. You're way up there on the border, but that's nice. That's
Yeah.
You speak?
Cozy,
Oh,
which is
okay.
so-so.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Very good. So, where is this restaurant? We have to come up there now and get some good
Oh
Italian
yeah,
food.
voted #1 pizza in Wallingford, by the way, and it's located on Route 5 in Wallingford. Stella Pizza. It's a small family-owned business.
Now we're coming up. Coincidentally, we're coming up on February 23rd.
Oh yeah?
We're coming up to Wallingford to the Knights of Columbus, I think it is,
Yeah.
on Quinnipiac Street.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
right
like
around
that.
the corner from us.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we got to get up there early then. I got to
yeah.
call my guys in Wallingford and say, you know what, we got to go up there early and stop.
Yeah,
And get some,
or come afterwards and have dinner.
Well, we can do that too. How late you open?
We're open until 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a Saturday, right?
The
The 23rd, I believe, is Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd love to have you down there.
Well, we come up to see the Connecticut Street Rod slideshow,
Oh, cool.
and all car guys. So
Yeah.
it's but we like to eat either before or after. So we need to go somewhere, and especially if it's Italian, that's where we want to go.
Right, or if it's in between, I could deliver it.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think the Knights of Columbus would like that though.
They buy pizza from us too. But
So, are you into cars?
I love cars.
Do you?
I absolutely love cars, and my favorite car is the Mustang.
Oh,
Oh, I love
You're a
Mustang.
Ford girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
now I hope it's the classic Mustangs. the older
Oh,
ones.
most definitely.
Oh, all right.
Yes, most definitely. I had a Ford Mustang. It was my first car, but it was an '84. It was
Oh.
a 5-speed T-top. It was a GT.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I had to give it up when I had my first kid.
Did you? You don't
Yeah.
look old enough to be married.
No, I'm not anymore.
Oh, well, that's okay. Neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you don't look old enough to have a baby.
Oh, thank you. I'm a lot older than you think.
I'm sure you are. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to ask you unless you want to say, but we don't have to
I
get
can
into
tell.
that,
I'm not shy. I'm 41.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure fooled me. Well, I see your experience with the cars, and that's why you make a good model, and you're
thank
good
you.
for the magazine,
Yeah.
obviously.
I love representing the magazine. It's great.
Well, that's good. You know what? It's been a pleasure. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
I
And
appreciate
we'll
your
look forward
time.
to seeing you up at the restaurant.
Yeah, come see us.
Again, the name is?
Stella Pizza of Wallingford.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We're going to look
Thank
for you, May.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank Maratta's show draws cars from all over, from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and of course Massachusetts and Rhode Island as well. From Massachusetts, I have Linda Gobin, and she's got what we really don't see too much of around any of the shows, 1958 Chevrolet Impala Convertible. Near and dear to my heart because, as a lot of viewers know, that's what I owned years back, and that's what I used to drag race too. So we're going to welcome Linda to Cars and Us. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you doing the interview with us. And like I said, it's not often that we come across a 58 convertible because they're pretty rare and they're very expensive.
Yes, they are.
So it's really nice. This is that Roman red or fire engine red back in the day. That's what they called it.
It's called Rio Red.
Rio red.
That's the
That was it.
original color. Yes.
And nice white top. And the motor, is it 348?
Yeah, it's a 348.
Is it single 4-barrel or is it tri-carb, tri-power?
A single 4-barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the 250 horsepower.
Uh-huh.
And is it power glide or turbo glide?
I believe it's a Paraglide.
Okay, it has drive and low.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Turbo glide had drive and grade retarder. It had GR,
Right now,
which is a bad transmission. It lasted 1 year,
Exactly.
and then they never used it again. But this is a beautiful car. Now, is this a complete restoration? I noticed you have, you know, it's. I have to tell you, this car is just like my old one. It had complete power steering, power brakes, window seats, everything. Is this car
It's
fully equipped?
It's fully equipped. It's completely powered. It also has manufactured air. There's that's not very common to find.
Not at all.
Some of its other features, it has a Connie on the back. Continental kit, yeah, we call it Connie. It also has this electronic eye. I don't know if you can
We'll
see
shoot
it
that.
over
Stay
here.
over here. We'll shoot
Okay.
that. We'll shoot
All right.
that. The electronic eye for
What that did,
dimming the lights.
Yes, it's for dimming the lights
Right.
if you come upon a car that has high beams on.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the forerunner to the fiber optic, and that was it was an option, but very rare.
It
very
is
rare
rare.
option. This
Yes.
car is very unique.
Yes, it is.
How long have you had it? Where did you get it? And did you guys do the complete restoration on it?
We bought it about, I think we've had about 4 or 5 years now, and we drove it around for a while, put about a few thousand miles on it, and then we decided to do it over. So we fully restored it back to its original. I mean, it was, but it just needed to be updated, you know,
Sure.
cleaned up and what have you. And we found it in Worcester, Shrewsbury area,
Sure.
and we've had it ever since.
What drew you to a 58 convertible? Was it something that you guys wanted, you and your husband wanted, or it just caught your eye?
I know. My husband always wanted a 58. He always wanted a 58 Impala convertible. And when we first decided to get into the hobby, we started looking, and like you said, it was an expensive car. And we weren't sure what we were really going to do with it, so we opted for something else. And we bought something else, and we had that. Bought a second car. When we sold the first one, it was back to the 58, which was his original dream to begin with. He had one, I think, when he was younger.
Right.
But it wasn't a convertible. But that's what he wanted, and so that's what we went for.
It's a beautiful restoration. Now, how long did it, guys, take you to complete what you wanted to do on it yourself?
We sent it out to a shop. He went around to a few different places, and then he found a place in Foster, Rhode Island. And the guy there took it down to bare metal, took it off its frame, and did a complete resto on it. And believe it or not, this guy did this in 13 weeks. Everybody goes, "You're kidding," but he really did.
That's fast. That's a good turnaround.
Job, yes.
Well, you know what? It's always the money. If you have the money and you can pay him on a regular basis, then, you know, it gets done quicker.
Well, and he's a small place, so he works on one car at a time.
Right.
And
He wanted to turn it over then.
yeah, he does. See, and that's how he works, and it's great because too many people put their cars in places and they stay there for a long time and
Sure.
get very dissatisfied. So we were very happy with it.
It's a beautiful car. I hope the camera does it justice. I'm going to do my best to make sure that it does. And enjoy the car, enjoy the show, and it's a pleasure to have had you on.
Thank you.
All right, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. One of the major attractions up here at Frank Maratta's 49th annual show is a 1948 Tucker. Now, for those of you viewers that are up in the age bracket, you'll kind of remember that Tucker was way ahead of its time. And there was a movie out back a few years ago with Jeff Bridges. And I have Chick DeLorenzo with me, who's the owner of this car. This is one of the cars, one of the many Tuckers that was in the movie. Chick is the owner of it. I understand that his father owned a Tucker dealership out in New Jersey years back. So we're gonna be in store for a good lesson on the movie and about the car in general and everything else. So I want to welcome Chick.
Thank you.
All right, to Cars and Us, and you know, a little bit of a segue. Your dad owned a Tucker dealership.
Yeah, he was a Tucker dealer in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, back in '48.
Where in Jersey?
Just on the other side of Patterson, a little town called Pumpton
sure.
Lakes.
Sure. We're familiar. We're from Westchester. We're over the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Pumpton Lakes is noted for that's where Joe Louis used to train when
Right.
he was a fighter.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's back in the 40s also.
that's many years ago.
Yeah.
I was only a squirt. Now I'm a big squirt.
This is a fantastic car. I don't even know where to start. This, as I said, it was so far ahead of its time that it was just phenomenal. And unfortunately, the government got involved and they gave him a hard time, and it never took off, and it was never the success that it would have been. He would have knocked out a lot of the big auto manufacturers at the time had this continued to be a production model.
Yeah, he was running competition with. He was selling the car for like $2,600. He was in competition with Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick.
Sure.
And the innovations that he had on this car, mechanically and all,
Tell us about some of them.
they couldn't keep up with it. Well, this is 1948, remember. Has four-wheel independent suspension, four-wheel disc brakes, 3 rollover bars in it. If your head hits the windshield, the whole windshield pops out instead of putting your
Right.
head through it.
Right.
It's got a collapsible steering column. If your chest hits that, it collapses 3 different times. Depends on how hard you hit it. So the steering wheel doesn't go through your chest. Mechanically, there were so many safety features on this thing.
Well, that's not to cut you off, but that was one of the things that he concentrated on was safety.
Right. This car was noted for its safety.
Yeah.
He was involved in racing a lot, and he took a lot of his knowledge from the racing Indianapolis stuff, and he put it into this car to make it a safer car.
Now, let's talk about the movie. I know that there's, well, first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. How many actual cars did he make before he went out of production?
He had a contract with the United States government that he had to produce 50 cars during the first year.
Okay.
Well, he completed 50 cars. They had to finish up the last 3 of them while he was still in court. But they finished the 50th car and then stopped working. Because legally, you're not supposed to work in a factory unless all the bookwork is there. The government had the bookwork.
Right, he couldn't.
impounded.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
So they went in there, a lot of the helpers and his son went in there and worked and finished up the last 3 cars. So they completed 50. This car is number 51. Was on the production line. The body was welded to the frame, had 4 wheels on it, but that's as far as they got. They stopped at number 50. I acquired all the pieces from the original auction in 1986. And it took me 2 years to put it together, but it was a labor of love.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But you know what? You really have a piece of history. And then when we talk about American history, because I like to advertise my show as, you know, a bit of American history. And this certainly is part of our American motor history.
Yeah, it's older than I am. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm older than the car is.
Now, how many were used in the movie, and how did they reproduce them, and how did they go about? Because all of them are not in existence.
No, well, there's 46 of them left in the world. There's 2 of them over in Japan in a museum. There's 1 down in Sao Paulo, Brazil in a museum. 1 of them got burnt in a warehouse fire in Florida. 1 got hit by a train in Pennsylvania. So we know where every car is. There's 46 actual Tuckers left. We had 22 real ones out there for the movie.
Did you?
Some of them were strictly museum cars. They didn't even run.
Right.
So we had to make up some fiberglass replicas out there. We made a few of those. And then on the factory scenes, we used a lot of fiberglass pieces that was painted silver to look like raw metal.
Right.
Doors, fenders, etc.
Sure. There were props.
Yeah, just strictly props.
Right. Now, did you have a part in the movie with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, well, they cut out all my speaking parts.
Oh, okay.
We shot over 5 hours worth of movie, but they had to cut it down to around 2 hours. I'm in the drafting room scenes. I'm on the racetrack. I'm the guy getting the car, driver out of the car after it rolled over. We made a 50 Studebaker look something like a Tucker using the fiberglass parts. Right. And then on the close-ups, we used the real one. Then on the courtroom scenes, I'm one of the spectators in the courtroom.
Okay, very good.
When they're announcing the car that has a fire underneath the front of it.
Right.
I told Francis Ford Coppola, I says, you ain't starting no fire under my car. He says, well, we'll put an asbestos blanket under it and start a little fire. I said, okay, but I got to be the guy with the fire extinguisher.
Right.
He says, no problem.
Right. Right.
So I was in that scene. I was in a lot of the scenes as an extra, just strictly an extra.
Right.
But being that I owned the car and I was one of the younger owners, they hired me as a mechanic, as an extra, as a consultant for the movie.
Right. I was just going to say.
It worked out great.
Right. That's terrific.
Yeah. At the time, Francis Ford Coppola owned 2 Tuckers at the time.
Oh, did he?
And George Lucas owned one. And that's why he was so into making a movie about Tucker.
Now, Chick, are you building any fiberglass reproductions?
Well, right now I'm building one for myself because I don't dare take the real one out on the road. It's worth too much. I'm building a fiberglass car, Tucker, on a Pontiac chassis.
I see.
I'm going to paint it the same color as the real one.
Right.
Fake everybody out.
Sure will. You can't tell the difference by looking at it. That's for sure. You got to run by it with the magnet.
Yeah. Well, I'm using a lot of the real parts too from the Tucker. I got a lot of extra parts like the grills for the back fenders, front and rear bumper, real Tucker stuff. And I figure, well, I've got them. I'm going to use them.
Now, you mentioned the value. It is a valuable car. Just so the viewers get an idea, what is a car like this valued at?
Well, Lloyd's of London says they'll go up to $500,000 on it.
Okay.
The reason this is so expensive or worth so much is because it's the very last. There'll never be a number 52 or a 53. Right. The prototype, the original Tucker that they made, is worth close to $700,000, $800,000.
I was going to say around $1 million bracket.
Yeah. The first one off the production line is $700,000, $800,000, $900,000,
Sure.
And the very last, number 51. They figured it'll go over $500,000 easy.
I'm sure. The motor, what was this powered by?
It's a 6-cylinder Franklin air-cooled motor.
Okay.
It's 166 horsepower, 335 cubic inch. They've been clocked at 131 miles an hour.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Not by me. I wouldn't do
what
that.
kind of fuel mileage do they get?
They've been
Have you ever
clocked.
tested it?
I haven't tested it. They've been clocked at anywhere from 20 to 23 miles to the gallon.
No kidding.
And that's not really great compared to some of these little cars that they have nowadays.
I understand, but look at the weight of the car.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the car. That's fantastic mileage.
This car weighs a little bit over 2 tons.
Yeah.
So
sure.
that kind of mileage is
4,000
pretty
pounds.
good.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is really, as I said before, it's a piece of history. Great for me to see it because I only know of them from what my father told me about them. You know, I mean, I was only a kid, so I really don't remember them.
Yeah, it's just part of my heritage. I've wanted one since I was 13. And I didn't get it until I was 51.
Yeah, but you were lucky. Your father owned the dealership. You know.
Yeah, I got to
How
see them up
closer
close.
could you have gotten to them?
Right.
You know? When I saw Joey over here with our buddy with the Merc, he said, you got to talk to Chick with the Tucker. I says, boy, I said, you have to find it for me because I certainly want to get this car on camera.
Well, I'm glad you did.
So it's been a pleasure, Chick, and
Same here.
I hope we meet up again somewhere. I'd like to get a chance to really. We're kind of cramped for quarters here, so I'd really like to get a chance to get up real close to the car at one point in time.
Anytime, you're welcome. I'll be here all weekend.
I appreciate it. Thank you much, Chick.
Thank you. Thanks for your interest.